Hey everyone, this is Robin. I'm here with your NEPA shows coming up this week on Friday, November 18th.
Hey, and welcome back to the wrong background. There we go. Beyond the Break podcast. I am your host, AL, and this guy right here is...
I'm your co-host, Ben.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Nothing. I'm here doing my thing, getting ready for the takeover tomorrow because that's my life right now. So
Takeover's taking over your life.
Takeover's taking over. I'm not mad about it, though.
I'm not mad about it either. I mean, it's all taken over my life.
It was just sit on the couch and watch cartoons, which is, also good, but less productive. Right. So
you wanna talk about the takeover tomorrow at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow night at 12 Penny Saloon in Music, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away from here, like maybe a 20-minute drive from Wilkes-Barre at most, guys. We have our first takeover event. It is a free show where we will have Stars Burn Red, Docile Sponge, Alex Danilla, and last year's runner-up Running in Flip-Flops playing a show for you guys for free. So come out, enjoy some cocktails from the bar, get your dance on, and then after all the bands play, keep dancing with me as your DJ until the wee hours of the morning. So yeah, tomorrow night at 12 Penny.
Hell yeah! Should we give them a little taste of what these bands sound like?
Please and thank you. Yes.
All right. Well, let's start off with Stars Burn Red, who's gonna be starting out the night.
Get ready to stay up all night. Get ready to fight.
And then we've got Docile Sponge up next.
Just let me pass the record store, repress the truth inside the door, speak dreams unveiled through shadow, faded from obscurity.
And then we're gonna have Alex Danilla.
Stand up and like a man. She understands your plan. Let me enter your hand. Can't you pull every hand?
And then coming back from season 3, finalist Running in Flip-Flops.
What the fuck? So put your body parts in pickle jars. Listen up. What the fuck?
They'll put your body parts in pickle jars. I love that song. That's a great song.
I'm just excited to have a bunch of different music actually playing out somewhere instead of, me sitting at home on my Pandora station or, on my way to work.
Yeah. And it's all original music. It's all, fairly local. We've got, for as far as contestants go, though, this season so far, we've got quite a range.
I can't believe we hit such a wide target area, honestly. Like that map alone is so impressive to me. I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Like I knew we were tri-state area, but like it really says something when you can see how far you've reached out. Like these are local bands that just heard about the big break and were like, oh, that sounds like something I want to do. And then they're going to drive the one band from 2 hours away at State College just to come compete with us. And it's like,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. That definitely shows, initiative and drive and,
they take their music serious. That's a surefire sign of that. That or the prizes are just that good. Cause
prizes are excellent.
I'll travel for a good prize. Actually, I'll travel for dinner and a beer, but whatever.
I mean, yes, me too. But enough about that. We've got a guest today, Lewis West. He's a singer and songwriter from the birthplace of Bob Dylan. Anybody know where Bob Dylan was born?
This accent all night is going to happen.
Oh, Minnesota.
Whoa, there.
I'm sorry.
That
sorry
was
if you're from Minnesota.
I'm not.
It's cool. Anyway.
I'm just gonna quote Drop Dead Gorgeous all night and be like, ALABAME.
Oh boy.
It's going to happen a lot, and I'm not sorry.
He's never going to want to come back. He's probably thinking about even leaving now.
He doesn't have a heavy accent, though. He's all right. He's fair. I feel like the only people that will be offended by that.
Talking about,
Right.
So so his so Lewis's music carries a message of peace and is influenced by his background in sustainable art. Oh man, somebody help me here. Art. I can't say this word. Why can't I say this word?
It's going to be tough for us because we can't see the word.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I don't
Let's
know.
do it together. Let's do it together. Give me the
Agriculture.
syllables.
Jesus.
Ag-
Okay.
That was the hard word.
Hey,
It
you
was
know what,
agriculture.
man? You ever look at a word and just like, I know this word, and it just doesn't
Dog.
Archipelago. My brain
archipelago?
I never want to. My brain was archipelago. My brain wants to say it 5 different ways. That's my word that I hate so much because it shows up and it just hurts me.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
it was
his
agriculture.
influence, he's influenced by his background in sustainable agriculture and studies of various spiritual practices. You know, he's got like 100 songs out right now. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm really, really excited to have him on our show and see, what he's got to say. For today's videos, we're actually going to show you our 2 winners. So we've got Old Kentucky Shark, who won season 2, and the Crates, who won season 3. And for now, let's just go with Coping by Old Kentucky Shark.
I've been trying hard to put your death to rest. I was testing out my liver. I put my heart to the test. Whoa, I never alone. I was never alone. To comfort in my vices, I spiraled out of control. It took me years to finally realize that we were both in a hole. I was chained to a lie. I was chained to a lie. I know you wouldn't want this to be sad and slow. So I wrote some rock and roll, Dad. Yeah, to help move your soul. I was never alone. I was never alone. Son, I'm gonna love you after I'm gone. I'm gonna look over each and every move you make. Son, I'm really proud of the man you become. It doesn't matter if you fuck up, everyone makes mistakes. Son, love you after I'm gone. I'm gonna look over each and every move you make. Son, I'm really proud of the man you become. It doesn't matter if you fuck up, everyone makes mistakes. Yeah.
Old Kentucky Shark.
Mhm.
Love those guys.
They're a good time.
And we've got Lewis here. How are you, man?
Well, and you?
Good, good, excellent.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. How's your day going?
It's been a day.
It's been a day. Yeah, it's been a
Yep.
life. So tell us I mean, you're from Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I'm from
How
Minnesota.
what brought you to Northeast PA?
Say, how'd you end up here?
Yeah. Well, I moved to Honesdale. I lived at the Himalayan Institute. I don't know if any of you heard of that. Up in the hills out here. That's what brought me out here. I came from Colorado. I'd gotten through Colorado through Nebraska. So just like kind of farm hopping. I worked at a lot of different farms in all those different places.
Nice,
Anyway.
nice. Where in Colorado did you live there for a little while, or?
Yeah, I was there for about a year. I lived right outside of Boulder.
Okay.
And I did my yoga teacher training out there, and and I learned about the Himalayan Institute through some of our course books in that teacher training. I was like, I got to go out there and see what that's about. So
Nice. Yeah, I lived in Denver metro area for about 7 years.
I was in Colorado Springs for about 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
all been
Colorado. Yep.
beautiful.
So what year did you end up here in this area?
It'd have been like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
I left the institute right. We were quite a bit into COVID, but not over it yet. So then I landed in town like while COVID was still going pretty strong.
Gotcha.
And so, everything is just starting to wake up again, and
Right.
for it.
slowly but surely.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
So you're how long have you been playing music, and what got you into it?
Yeah, so I guess I've been doing the singer-songwriter thing for 20 years now. I was in church choirs and school musicals and stuff like that before that, but really taking music more seriously for about 20 years. It's interesting. The reason I started doing music is because I wrote a lot of poetry. And I self-published a couple of poetry books when I was younger, and I realized that there's really not a huge market for poetry. It's a very, very niche market. And if you, for me, like I just wanted to get my words out. And so I was like, oh, well, if I just put music with these same words, then people will actually be interested in hearing them instead of like me trying to pawn poetry books off on people.
Have you ever done like what do you like spoken word?
Yeah, I guess I did a little bit. I'm more about written word than spoken word. Although now I sing. I sang before, but
So it's
now
singing word, right?
Primary vehicle.
Gotcha. Do you find like the stuff that you've written the stuff that you've written without music in mind, have you had to go back and readjust it?
No, it's pretty surprising. So, as a part of this big compendium project, which is 100 songs that I've selected from my past 20 years of writing, there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor for sure. So this is like oh, I made it to 100. It's like, no, this is the best of the best.
Okay.
but the in doing that, I started going through some of my old music, or like my old poetry, before I was really writing music. And when I was in high school, I was really into writing Shakespearean sonnets, which are a very, very specific rhyme and rhythm, So, and I really enjoyed it, and I worked with it. But I had all these really beautiful pieces of writing that I was like never really able to do anything with musically. But then I was able to like kind of crack the code to be able to just put music to it and make it work.
Nice.
That's
Very
that's
nice.
really cool.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
cool. Ben over here, actually, he's acts in plays and stuff. He's does some Shakespeare plays, is that right?
Yeah, I do. I was in King Lear, and I don't do a lot of Shakespeare, honestly. I don't. I usually do musicals more than anything, but yeah, I've done King Lear. I think was the last one I was, and it was mostly because there's not enough men in theater, and they were like, "Hey Ben, we need a guy, and you're here running the bar at the theater. Will you come do the show?" And I was like, "I have time."
Hired. That was probably the easiest casting call you've ever been to.
Just about, yeah. Just
Yeah.
about. Probably.
Well, that's okay. So 100 songs you picked out of like how many? What the pool of how many songs would you say that you've created? that you
Oh,
have?
I don't know. I got a stack like, this thick of different journals and stuff. So
So what's
fortunately, it wasn't a one shot. Like I didn't sit down all at once to like select 100 songs. I had started this project a while ago, actually right around the time when COVID first came out.
Hmm.
And isn't it interesting that that's like our timepiece at this point?
Right?
It's like,
well,
yeah,
I mean the time before that was 9/11,
The before
It's true.
time.
9/11.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
It
So,
throws me 'cause
And
3
before
years
that
ago,
was
it
the
didn't seem like
Berlin
it.
Wall, so
always a thing. There's always a thing.
right.
So anyway, I had gone through this process of digging through a bunch of old stuff to pick out pieces to do a songbook then, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and I was like, whatever, it's not a big deal. So that when I got the push to do it again, it's like, cool, I've already done most of this work.
Nice.
I just need to add the new stuff, maybe cut out some old stuff and refine the presentation, and it's good to go.
So you've
So
got this fantastic compendium now, which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
what would you classify your music as far as like genre?
I mean, I guess you could call it, with 100 songs, you can't really pin it down to any one thing. Like if I could pin 100 songs down to one thing, then I would have a shtick, and that's not really what I do.
Fair.
So there's some songs that have a funky folk rock element to it, but then there's some songs that are like really, really delicate ballads at the same time.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Not at the same time as being funky folk rock. That
Right.
would be interesting.
That would
That
be
would be
interesting.
painful.
That's like when Slipknot started, they had this kind of like jazz kind of twist to them as well. So are these like just solo, you and a guitar, or do you play other
Go for it.
instruments?
I've done in the past. I've done some. I would record all of the instruments myself and do multi-track recording. These I don't have audio recordings for these yet. I mean, some of them have audio recordings from previous things, or I did a live thing, but like, there's nothing specifically recorded for the compendium yet. It's just the text so far.
Is that in your in your
It's in my
site?
site. It's
Okay.
definitely sites. Yeah.
What kind of time frame are you looking at?
Well, how do you tackle 100 songs, right? I mean, it's like
One at a time.
One at a time.
yeah.
I
yeah.
recommend doing 5 at a time. That way, no one can tell you it's wrong. What's that noise? I don't know, but it's
So
right.
I broke this 100 songs into 5 different sections. I mean, it's not broken out in the songbook, but like, conceptually in my head, I wanted to have different themes of life, so there's songs that are about heartache, and there's songs about being in love, and then there's songs that are really more geared towards the spiritual stuff that I had studied, and trying to like glean the best nuggets from that to be able to share. And then there's songs about the geopolitical world in which we live in, and how to be better people to one another, and just that kind of stuff. So I think when I move into recording, it'll be one section at a time, and
Right.
basically an album, like a long album of 20 songs.
Gotcha. It's like chapters or almost like
Yeah.
mini books,
Yeah. Yep.
volumes.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're talking about spirituality, and I'm wondering, when in your life did you start feeling that, and you're like, I feel like I need to, explore this more.
Yeah. So I was in my early 20s, and when I was 24, I quit my job. I was an executive assistant at a commodity exchange in Minneapolis, and this was like during the whichever financial crisis was going on at that time that had to do with
Was it
all the school loans or something.
2008?
I was it
Yeah,
2008 or was it?
Yeah,
yeah,
that was yeah, yeah.
yeah. So like here I am. I didn't go to college, right? Because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I thought it was silly to pay to figure it out. So like I've got a real job, like a corporate-y sort of job, and I'm like, this, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. It's just gonna kill my soul. I
Mhm.
gotta do what my heart and my soul are calling me to do. And so I quit that job. My mom thought I lost my mind. Like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't go to college, you got this real job, and like you're just gonna leave. And it's like, yeah, and here's the kicker. I'm gonna get a 1969 Volkswagen bus and drive down to Arizona to join an intentional community. And like, woo, that was
Oh
that was,
man.
I can just
you know,
imagine the panic. I'm
that
your
was like
zip.
that was my big break. That was me like taking a big break from like this sort of path that we're steered towards
Right.
in this
Programmed.
we live in. And it's like,
Right.
it works for some people, and like I'm happy for them, but it doesn't work for everybody. And to assume that it does, it's just not fair. So I did that, but I'd already started working with meditation and tarot cards and other, just kind of exploring, putting my toes in the water, and then I made a big dive.
Nice. So that's you said around 2008, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's about
That's when I
5 years.
really committed to it. I dabbled before that.
Right. And now you're just all in.
Yeah, I mean, we're all a part of the world, so I'm in it, and I'm also in this world at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
more selective about what I choose to put my energy towards at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially the negative stuff. Pick your battles. Not everything is worth it.
Mm-mm.
Most of it
Most
is not.
most of it is not. Yeah.
Most of it is not. It's nonsense or just simple miscommunication or misunderstanding or something that could just be resolved with a very calm, hey, this is how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the music that I write, touches on that. Like, really, it's about interpersonal relationships and finding way to be at peace with one another. Like peace comes from within, but it's also around us. And yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. So with your songwriting process, you know, obviously when you started writing, you already had lyrics, right? You had your
Mhm.
poems, and then you added music to it. Did that change over time? Like, do you make music now and then add lyrics to it, or has that evolved in any way?
A little bit, I taught myself how to play guitar. I got my first guitar when I was when I was 18. I got my first real tax return, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy a guitar. So
Nice.
I had a friend who taught me, like two chords, and then he's like, all right, go on it, and I learned how to play by looking up songs that I liked, that
Mhm.
were on at the time, and I would learn the chords for the songs, and then once I had those chords in my belt, then I could use those chords to try and create my own songs and just kind of
Mhm.
fooling around.
Yep.
But now, and I think then because I was much more comfortable working with the words, the words were always first. But
Right.
at this point, they really come together, and my relationship to music has shifted. Before it was just sort of like kind of dabbling again. But now I feel way more comfortable with my instruments and the tone that I'm able to create with them, both acoustic and when I'm working with my pedals and stuff like that. That I can, I use the music to sort of, I like to call it painting a soundscape. When you use watercolors and you do a wash, you start at the top of the page and it sort of drips down, and
Mhm.
I use the music, especially for the real delicate ballady kind of songs, to create that soundscape, and then the words fit within that.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
So that music isn't taking away from the words; they're really melding in a cohesive sort of
Like
way.
complementing
each
each
other.
other, right?
Mhm,
Okay,
exactly.
that's cool. Have you like worked with other musicians and done any kind of like collaboration type of thing?
Yeah, I did an acoustic back when I lived in Minneapolis before all this started. I had an acoustic duo. We called ourselves Magellan's Folly, and we did a lot of socio-political music during that time frame, and that was cool. Yeah, I've worked with some percussionists. I've worked with like more of a full band situation, but like it's generally like we'll do some shows together, we'll jam together for a while, and like I really just need to like I have to hold the integrity of my own music and what I'm
Mhm.
bringing, and I don't know. It's this weird balance as somebody whose primary source of income is music at this point, where it's like, all right, well, I got to play some covers, and like I know most of the gigs that I can get to pay the bills is that, and like I
Right.
can't bring this delicate music into a bar scene. Like it's not. We
Right.
don't
There's a
have,
time and
at least in
place.
Honesdale, we don't have that kind of a bar where I can like sit and play ballads for 3 hours. Like nobody's
Yeah.
gonna want to be there. So
Right. Right.
Have that struggle.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's I find myself continuing to like when I do the more entertainment side, and I'm not digging on it because I love live music. We all love live music, but like I don't. That isn't where my heart necessarily is. My heart is in the performance of my own music, and so I find that I get pulled away and distracted. The more I moved into the entertainment side, and as far as the delivery of my own music, I can do that just fine by myself. It's nice to have other people around, but like also I have to hold the integrity of my own music. So like
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
hopefully so this compendium is a songbook, right? It's got all the chords printed for all of the songs that I've written. So I'm hoping that what I'll be able to do is maybe do some sort of a jam sort of a thing to if people are interested in playing with me and doing this music that I feel it has meaning. I hope it has meaning for others, then it makes it easier for that to occur.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben. You were going to say something.
Oh, I just said nice. Like
Okay.
that's awesome. If you can get people to work with you with a
So
all
I
written
have
out there. I mean, it's kind of the hard part's finding musicians that can actually read music and don't play by ear. I think at that point.
Well, it's not like I wrote out sheet music. It's just the chords, I feel like if you can read the alphabet, you can probably manage.
yeah. I have an emergency I need to take care of real quick. I'm so sorry, Ben. I will be right back. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'm
So
gonna
you
chat
guys
with
go ahead. You guys go ahead.
John Fry.
Oh, and John's going to join us. Hi, John.
So what's going on, man?
Well, Ale's
Just having
doing the thing.
good chat here.
Yeah.
So while he's going back, tell me like vibe wise of like the whole music scene is a lot different here than there. Like, are you getting a lot different? I don't know how to explain it. Is it like I don't want to say are the people different or getting show like that kind of stuff? Is that all different for you here? A lot different for you here than it is back where you came from?
Well, yeah, I mean, I live in a small town now. I live in
Yeah.
Honesdale. I don't live in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. So,
Yeah.
there's a few places that have music, and then there's places that you can go to half an hour to 45 minutes away. It seems like everything is almost a half an hour, 45 minutes away out here. And that wasn't the case in Minneapolis. I mean, there was tons of places. But that was also like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So
Before COVID.
Yeah, well, it was way
BC.
before COVID, but also
So like
like the real rise of social media, right? So you got people to come to the show because you called them and sent them a text message or whatever. It wasn't like a
Yeah, I always bring this up with people because, like, especially because that transition happened over the 10 years where COVID happened too, where the music industry changed so much to see, like, it must be for some people who maybe took their eye away from it for a second, has to be like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Even if your eye was on it the whole time, it's moving so fast that it's so different
Mhm.
now. And people can be independent and can sell their own merch and figure out ways to make money. And like the fact that some musicians made it through COVID is insane. It was 2 years where they couldn't play it. But like that's insane. Like if you like on paper that you're not supposed to be able to make it through that, so I always like to see, like, especially somebody who's come from the Midwest and especially Colorado and that kind of stuff, how they transition through that. But are you okay? Do you need a
Yeah,
leave?
no,
Or
we're good. We're good. All straight. Thank you.
I nailed holding it down though. I swear to God, I nailed it. I was
Yeah.
talking about cool
The
stuff. It was
best.
so good. Yeah, thanks.
Hugo Fry, everybody. So I got a question for you, man. Have you ever just like run into a block, just like you want to create, but you're just like you have nothing is coming out? Has that happened?
Um, yeah, I guess I can think of two scenarios. One scenario is when my creative energy is put into too many other projects,
Okay,
right? Like
spread
if I,
thin, right?
yeah, so I also I also do rock work and landscaping. Right? That's another little side hustle because I spend so much time doing land work, like it's just sort of second nature for me.
Nice.
And but it's also a very creative activity. So if I put too much energy into that, then all of a sudden I don't have any creative energy left to like put into music. So that's one situation in which that's occurred. And when that happens, it's like, all right, I gotta clear the space in order for me to be able to do that work.
Right. That was my next question is how do you move past that? How do you uh, you
How
know,
do you clear that space?
right.
You have to you have to rearrange your life more or less. So if I'm working all of this time to make money doing this other thing, but I really want to be doing creative work over here, like you only have a pool of creative energy that is as big as it is. And so if it's all going into something else, then like you can't just imagine it. You can't. It's like in your car, right? You use gasoline to drive the car. Oil is a liquid, but you can't put oil in the gas tank, right? So
Oh yeah, don't do that.
you can't take something else
Right.
and expect it to be a creative energy, right?
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
You
100%.
just gotta
And like
space for it.
yeah, people get burned out even doing the things that they love, and you really gotta pay attention to that and recognize, when that's starting to happen before it gets to the point where you're just like, screw this, I don't know, I'm walking away, I'm not doing it anymore. You got to recognize those and do something about it.
Yeah.
Got to delegate that energy where it can be the most useful
Right,
and
right.
put other projects on hold at least until that energy becomes available again to put into something else at the very least.
Yeah.
Or just learn to say no to people, and that's a big thing is it's okay to say no to people and be like, yo, I'm already overworked right now, I just need some time, let's reschedule, let's do this some other time. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and in fact, by doing that, to me, that shows that you recognize yourself and makes me more confident to work with you in the future because I know that you're not gonna just say yes for the job,
Yeah.
Right.
It's very hard to learn how to say no. I think everyone, at least in my experience, the people I know, the first time you learn how to say no to someone, it's like it's one of those core memories. You're like, oh, and then you realize, like, even years later, you're like, that was the first time I was able to say no to someone when they tried to make me do a project or work on something I couldn't do it.
Right.
And it really is a growth stage in someone's life when they learn how to control that yes and no factor, because it's really hard to not want to people please and
Right.
take care of everyone around you.
Yeah.
So it's being able to say no is a big deal.
Yeah. So yeah, and what about the second time that you had the block?
Yeah. So it's kind of related to the first one. but I mean, other things, you know, life just gets busy. Even if it's not a creative energy, life gets busy. And then you can experience what I fondly refer to as creative constipation. And it's that feeling, you know, where it's like, you know, you gotta take the thing, and like you just can't for some reason. And the reason you can't is because you haven't. So the thing is backed up. So you really gotta like just make the space to do it. You know, like it just creates all this dissonance in our bodies. Like just like on a physical level, when you gotta go to the bathroom and you can't, like it's just like your body is not okay with it. And like our creative bodies, for those of us who really express that, the same thing occurs. You know, so you have to find an outlet for it.
I feel that. That makes that makes sense.
And then once you know, once you get through the first creative block, and it's like
Yep.
You gotta get the troublemaker out.
Oh my god.
brand new day after that.
Oh man, we're gonna have to like do like a video for like
creative cleanse.
Pepsid or what's not Pepsid. What's
prune juice? Malox?
What's the pink one? The pink one.
Imodium? No, wait, that's the other one.
Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto, thank you. You know, but instead of stomach ache, diarrhea, it'll be like creative block. I don't know. Something. We gotta do something.
Musical Pepto-Bismol.
Musical Pepto-Bismol. Yes. So
Someone start writing the jingle now.
So you perform live as well, right? Like you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I do my share of bar style gigs.
And how did that start? Do you remember your first gig?
In this area or back in Minnesota?
Just in general, your very first time on stage.
Which one sticks out more for you?
Well, yeah.
I was involved with doing booking at an all ages venue in the suburbs of Minneapolis, and I think that was the first place I got up to do anything. And I think I'd written like one or two songs, and I probably read poetry the rest of the time, and I probably shook like a leaf the entire time. You know, my face just went beet red, and like I couldn't control my legs, and I'm like trying to play the guitar, and yeah. Come a long way from there.
The stage fright is a real thing.
Absolutely.
I always tell my actors and other musicians that I've worked with, like at the moment you lose that stage fright, though, it's actually a bad thing. You always want to be a little bit nervous just before you go on, because even though you know what you're doing, you still want that little bit of fear. Because every time I've had that fear on stage myself, like as soon as I step, I'm like, no, wait, I know what I'm doing, and then I get on stage and you do the thing, and you're like, yeah, I did it, and it's like. It keeps you sharp almost. Like
right, but you can't let that fear control you, though. That's the thing, you know. If you make a mistake on stage, you know, you can't dwell on that. You just have to continue on. Because once you start dwelling on that, it's almost like a chain reaction of right. You know,
life is the same way.
Right.
What is it?
Dwell on your mistakes. Yeah.
All the world's a stage. Yeah.
That's right.
I've dropped entire scenes on stage. And off.
So how do you, you know, do you have any advice for somebody that's afraid to go on stage? They want to show their music. They want to, you know, share their comedy. They want to speak their poetry, you know.
Start with an open mic. You know, and
100%.
That is the best way to go, because it's pretty low pressure, especially if you go to an open mic that's supportive and caring. You know,
absolutely.
I open mic out here at the Creative Compound every Monday. Starts at 6. We end sometime around 9. I have to limit it to 17 people because, like I said earlier, we don't do the alcohol thing here. So you know, to be open that. And also an open mic that goes, like, as a facilitator, I start to lose my desire to be here after about 3 hours, because it's a lot of work to facilitate an open mic, you know, because you're hosting it, like, turning everybody over, constantly adjusting the sound, trying to hold the space for, you know, all of your participants, and just kind of keep things flowing, right? So like after 3 hours, I kind of lose my desire to continue doing it, and after 4, I lose my desire to be nice to humans, and like I don't want to be in that. I don't want to
4 hours.
But like it's like, you know, you were just talking about, you got to say no sometimes. And it's like we could probably run this open mic for forever, you know. People eventually
Right.
people go be tired, but like
I
that's
basically go to an open mic, not in the winter, but I would go to an open mic basically every week on Tuesdays. And it's like, even that, it's like you see the same people sometimes and you're just like, oh man, I have to laugh at this joke that's coming up. And he knows I'm going to be
they're
the
set
only one
and they do.
laughing. It's like,
By the way, John is talking about any PA scene, open mic, Rich Howells over at the V Spot every Tuesday. Yeah, it's really, really cool what he does there. And you know, he live streams it. Very cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
now we have a 2-camera that he's got a switcher. He's going back and forth. He's all excited with it. Now we're working on the sound, getting the sound better and better. So
That's progress. Hell yeah, good for him. I'm
I used
excited
to
for
work
him.
on an open mic night. It's talking about like 4 hours of being done with people. It was, but I was the bartender, so I didn't get to leave after 4 hours. And
that's what I did want to say.
but
Go ahead.
there was one act. I'm not going to say the name because I don't know if he still plays out. But he was there every week and bless his heart doing his thing, you know, trying his hardest. But I couldn't do it. So like my break time was when he went up for his set every week. And it got to a point where the regulars knew when I walked out on the patio, they're like, "Oh, he's on stage. It's Ben's break time." I was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm here." And I didn't even smoke, but I was like, "I need a smoke break. We're going outside for a minute." Like every week, they knew. It was
You
rough.
don't even
But, yeah.
smoke. No.
I like telling people to start with open mics because I always try to like get this through to bands. It's like you have your practices, but if you're not practicing on a stage too, you're not really. It's like practicing football in a parking lot and then going on Sunday to a football field and thinking you could just strap on spikes and playing grass. You know, it's like you have to get in front of a live crowd, even if no one's there. Consider it a practice. Go up there and practice 3 songs. You know.
And if you're scared of open mic night, start the karaoke night. You know, there's all sorts of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even working with, you know, the venue and learning how to talk to the sound guy, you know, and learning all of that stuff.
Any PA scene alone, like you're saying, it's a perfect example. Like meeting Rich Howells is a powerful thing in our area because Rich Howells is everywhere. If you need free pictures made, if you need anything done, videos at your next show, like Rich will probably come do it, and he'll probably do it for free for you. You know what I mean?
He really goes above and beyond, man.
He just loves this stuff, so he's going to continue doing it until the day he dies. I think. I'm pretty sure Rich will do that. So it's like you have to take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now on my Oprah.
Okay, Hugo. Thank you.
I think, you know, the other thing about open mics is you meet a community of people that they become your friends and they become your family, you know.
Right.
And I think my suggestion to folks would be find an open mic that does that for you, because every open mic is different. And I find that, you know, open mics serve a variety of purposes. Sometimes they serve as therapy sessions. You know, people get up, and that's great. You know, like it's great
I saw somebody post earlier today saying open mic is just a therapy session with instruments. So I'm like,
it can be sometimes. It definitely, and some open mics are just about entertainment. You know, like people get up. Like my open mic here, the people get together during the week to practice the songs that they're gonna bring to the open mic on Monday to share with everyone. They really take it seriously and bring different material every week, so it's not the same thing. And you know, so you just got to find the one that works for you.
And I think one of the nice things about an open mic is as much as like you can have professional musicians there, but honestly, no one expects you to be great at an open mic. They're like, it's open mic. They kind of expect you to be more of an amateur. So like people are really forgiving. Like if you make a mistake, if you play badly, if you write a terrible poem or sing a terrible song, they're still going to clap at the end because you had the balls to get up on stage and do your thing. And that is a huge deal because it takes so much courage just to step on that stage in the first place. And like I said, if everyone expects you not to be amazing, they're going to forgive a lot. Like, and then if you are amazing, like the standing O is always a good thing. But yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the crates, right?
I saw the crates at an open mic first time last year, and like seeing a good band, that's what's cool about an open mic, seeing a good band just form in front of your eyes, and you're sitting here after like a bad comedian and a guy who's a magician Which no one, if you're a magician, get the fuck away from our goddamn open mics.
John's got a
You-
thing against
I don't trust them
musicians.
one bit. But
I
no,
look at the musicians.
just seeing a band that just comes together and you're just like, whoa, that's unique. I've never heard that sound. Or just seeing like somebody just blow you away on stage. Like literally the winners of last season I saw first on the open mic stage, and I was just like, whoa.
Actually, they were at open mic. They played a short set, and I went up to them afterwards, and I'm like, "Hey, come to the bathroom with me," right? Because right outside the bathroom of the beach spot is where they've got all the flyers, So here I am, this 40-year-old man, going up to these like 21-year-olds. Being like, "Hey, boys, your job on stage. Follow me to the bathroom. I want to talk to you."
Hey,
And they're like,
boys.
"Huh?"
Getting flashbacks. Jesus Christ.
But
They're like,
they
we have
ended
to
up
leave here before
competing.
9.
They ended up competing, and they ended up winning. And then they're playing all over the place now. So like,
One of the most unique bands in the area.
Just a year.
Yeah, one of the
On
most
an unrelated
unique
topic,
bands
if
in
anyone
the
out there
area.
viewing the podcast right now is a musician or rather a magician, please reach out to me. I've got a private gig at John Fry's house I need to book very soon with as many magicians as I can get.
All right.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Yo.
You'd kill me.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Let's do it. You gotta tie him up too. Well, he might like that. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that outburst there, Lewis.
It's all good.
Okay, so what's next for you, man?
Well, I'm gonna definitely start focusing more on doing this this original music that is, from my heart, from my soul, and I think it's gonna look a lot of different ways, because what I'm bringing is not typical, so I can't go the typical route and expect it to work. So, I mentioned earlier, as part of my spiritual practice that I'm into tarot, right? So, what I did actually with this book is I've made a deck with a card that corresponds to each song in the book.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
What I'm planning on doing is if I do a show, I'll just pull cards. Everybody will have a copy of my songbook to be able to read along, because it's important to see the words, right? Because for me, the words are the most important part, and the music just sets the stage. So then I'll pull cards, and I'll say, this is what we're going to do. I'll talk a little bit about the song, and then I'll play the song. And like, I believe that if I set the intention that the cards are resonating with the energy of the room, then the songs that are going to come forth are going to have messages for people that are really important.
That's really cool.
That is
So
cool.
that
sounds like fun.
You're not a magician, right? Okay.
No,
okay.
I got rid of
I
my
just wanted-
John.
I just wanted to make sure my notes just didn't screw us. It's just like
So
That sounds like I'd go to a
obviously-
show like that though. That sounds really cool. Like, especially because it adds that bit of mysticism in with the music. Like it's very, that would
That's a
be.
very cool concept. I'd
I'd enjoy it.
a lot. Yeah.
Mostly because I wanted to be like, oh my god, from someone in the audience that's like that's for me. Like I want to see the faces. That would be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Now your lyrics, are they written in a way that's kind of like broad, where a lot of people would be able to?
Yeah. I got the deck here. You want me to pull a card for you? I'll do it right now.
Let's do it.
I didn't bring a guitar, but I can read the song to you. How's that sound?
100%. All about
All right.
it. Let's do it.
This is for you. All right. I don't know what your emergency was, but I hope it wasn't about this.
Oh Jesus!
I hope so.
All right. So this song is called End Times.
That's reassuring.
I guess that you should know. I think it's time I go. I cannot give you any more. Please show me to the door. Yet what am I to do when I'm lonely through and through? My dreams were made of you. I think our time is at an end. I hope I see you again. I'll see you, old friend. The good times never last when I'm running out of gas. I'll never know how well you meant because I'm completely spent. Yet what am I to do when I'm lonely through and through? My dreams were made of you. I think our time is at an end. I hope I see you again. I'll see you, old friend. Somewhere my wires have been crossed, and now I find I'm lost. Now I don't know when, I don't know where, and frankly I don't care. Yet what am I to do when I'm lonely through and through? My dreams were made of you. I think our time is at an end. I hope I see you again. I'll see you, old friend. When I try to force another smile, inside I feel so vile. Every time I'm pushed into the lies, another part of me dies. Yet what am I to do when I'm lonely through and through? My dreams were made of you. I think our time is at an end. I hope I see you again. I'll see you, old friend. I guess that you should know. I think it's time I go.
I'm gonna go like
Maybe
find
it's
a
because it's
corner
time to
here
go.
shortly. So
I'm hoping it's because the dog really needed to go out before, and that's what that was about.
oh man. Joshua, I'll call you later. I hope that has nothing to do with this. Wow. Okay. So
Me too.
You broke ale.
you broke AL, yes. No. Okay. That was good.
That was
Thanks.
really well written. Really well spoken.
I'm a little like weirded
flustered.
out by the message there.
It could just be because we're nearing the end of our time together.
I'll say we are at 51 minutes, so that
You're
could be
right.
very
You're
well
right. So I've
That-
got a
that-
question for you. You're right.
Yeah.
100%.
Very
Do you go
relevant.
out to local shows?
I do get out every once in a while. I've been pretty tied into the music that we were doing here, but that is freeing up, so I have a bit more free time to get out and enjoy.
What's your favorite venue to go to?
I was really involved at Rafters Tavern out in Callicoon, New York.
Well, I mean here in any PA.
Well, I mean they're just right over the river. They might as well be.
I mean, yeah.
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 close for him.
Yeah. What was it again?
It's called Rafters Tavern.
Okay.
But I'm also, I'm fairly partial to the Creative Compound, which is where I'm at right now and where I've done a lot of work booking and creating show experiences. So
I like that place. I was down there. Obviously, met you there. Very cool place.
You swung through our open mic here.
Yep. I like the all the sweets and the bakery thing that's right up front there.
Oh yeah, kids.
So yeah,
So
absolutely.
you got to tell your at your open mic night this upcoming week. You got to let them know they've only got a few days left to sign up for the big break. Those bands that are playing out there, we need them to sign up later in the month.
Our open mic, we don't really do a lot of band stuff. We're not.
Okay.
Our stage isn't set up for that.
Right.
And the space, it's such a small space. It's very intimate here, so it makes the open mic a different kind of experience.
All right.
But it's we're not set up for a full band unless there's something tonight,
There was a question asking where you're based out of, and it's Honesdale, right?
Yeah, I'm in Honesdale. Honesdale.
Well, there's a few shows coming up. One of them is ours actually tomorrow at the 12 Penny. You guys should definitely come out. But there's other shows as well, and Robin is about to tell everybody about the great shows.
Hi, it's Robin with this week's original shows in northeastern Pennsylvania. On Friday, the 24th, at the 12 Penny Saloon in Music, the first ever Big Break Takeover, a free show with Season 4 contestants Running in Flip-Flops, Alex Stanilla, Docile Sponge, and Stars Burn Red. At the V-Spot in Scranton, James Barrett. At Best Cigar Pub in Drums, Patrick Motto. At the Keystone Stage in Oliphant, Major Madness. At Finnegan's in Scranton, War Ballad with special guest Nathan Knott. On Saturday, the 25th, at the Keystone Stage in Oliphant, a benefit for the Community Intervention Center with Suburban Downgrade and supporting sets from 4 bands and 3 comedians. At the Twisted Rail in Honesdale, Jay Luke. At Pisano Family Wines in Hunlock Creek, Subnautics. At the Joint 53 in Pittston, Phyllis Hopkins Electric Trio. At the River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains, the Mighty Susquehannas. At the Parkway in Nanticoke, Mellifluous, at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, the Badleys with Joe Burke and Dustin Douglas, at the Creative Compound in Honesdale, a Young Musicians Showcase, at Follow the Smoke in Simpson, the Dishonest Fiddlers, and Jack Lagore. On Sunday the 26th, at the River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains, a celebration of life, a memorial and benefit for Kyle Norvell with Candle in the Dark, Young Virgo, War Ballad, and Realign, a Godsmack tribute band. At Krabby Ron's in Dallas, Chris Sansky. On Monday the 27th, at Brennan's Pub in Scranton, Village Idiots. On Wednesday the 29th, at the Chestnut Street Tavern in Dunmore, Jeremy Burke. If you want your show featured on the next episode, go to thebigbreak.org/podcast and click the Submit Your Show button. That's all for this week. Make sure to head to a show, spread the word, and support independent artists.
Good
So
job,
get to our shows, people.
Robin. Yay.
Everyone. If you run a bar, you run a venue, go online and submit those shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the music.
I'm going to unmute myself to say yes, please, pretty please, and thank you.
She works her ass off all week looking for these shows, and there's been only one venue that's been submitting the shows, and that's the Keystone Stage. And thank you.
Yes.
They're
Hilton,
awesome. Love those guys.
The Hilton said they tried to reach out. They sent it to the wrong place, but they're going to start doing their shows through us.
Nice.
Here. They'll
Nice.
give us all their shows that they have
That would
coming
be
up. So.
excellent.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we
Get
that
your
one
free
episode.
promos in, guys.
Yeah.
If you're a band,
We
if you're a
spent a whole
venue, if you're an
episode yelling
artist,
at you.
this is a free platform to get your names out there, to get more people to come to your shows, to know what's going on. So
And speaking of promoting things, I know we are getting close to the end of our time. So, Lewis, before we start wrapping up things, is there anything that you specifically want to plug for yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think check out my website. There's some stuff on there. My computer just crashed today, so I'm like in the middle of this big transition into like really focusing on my original music. But thankfully, I was able to get the compendium done and sent out before it crashed.
Nice.
But I actually just started. I'm going to be doing tarot readings with an accompanying pull from this deck and a live song out of Dagawam. It's a metaphysical shop in Carbondale. So if anybody's interested in that sort of thing, you get a nice reading and you get a live song that is pulled specifically for you. Go out there,
Pretty cool.
schedule it up. Happy to help.
And that's your website scrolling down at the bottom, is that right?
Organicsforpeace.org. Yeah, that's it. There's some stuff on there, but it's not quite up to date. I do have some other shows, some bar gigs and stuff lined up. That's all listed on there too.
Nice.
Love to see you if you make it out.
So thank you so much, Lewis. Feel free to hang out after the show ends and we can chit chat some more. But for now, anybody out there, go check out his stuff. Like our stuff, share, follow, all of that stuff. And we are finishing the podcast off with the band that we were talking about earlier, The Crates.
The Greats.
See y'all.
See everyone later.
See the way you look tonight in a Sarah ultraviolet light. This world ain't the same without you. Oh, what's to wait for you tonight? And goddamn, I feel like I've never known you would ever feel this good. How much emotion you can handle, more than you can breathe. 'Cause every time it doesn't seem like you can hear a thing. And much emotion you can handle, more than you can breathe, yeah. 'Cause every time I don't think you can hear a thing. Baby, that's just me. Light can shine on through like a crack of the wall. try getting the best of you by them giving the worst day out. You're a survivor and you're still standing. You're a contender for the pretenders. You're a survivor and you're still standing in these hands. Never mind too much and you can handle more than you can breathe. 'Cause every time it doesn't seem like you can hear a thing. Never mind too much and you can handle more than you can breathe. 'Cause every time it doesn't seem like you can hear a thing. Baby, that's just me. So keep it flowing all the time now. Live your life and love your lifestyle. Keep it going all the time now. Don't care about what they say. Am I too much and you can handle more than you can breathe? 'Cause every time it doesn't seem like you can hear a thing. Am I too much and you can handle more than you can breathe? 'Cause every time it doesn't seem like you can hear